Look, let me paint a picture. You're sitting on your bed at night, phone in hand, banking app open. You refresh it once, then again, then one more time, just to be sure, and the number staring back at you is $412.37. You start doing mental gymnastics. Okay, rent is coming. Fuel is crazy. That subscription I forgot about is about to hit. If nothing unexpected happens this week, I might survive. And here's the thing, it's not even that you're irresponsible. You're working, you're trying, you're doing what you're supposed to do. But money still feels tight, still feels stressful, still feels like it controls your mood. Now imagine this instead. Same phone, same bed, same time of night, but this time, your balance says $5,217. Not rich, not flashy, just enough. And suddenly, your shoulders drop, your breathing slows down, your brain stops panicking. That shift right there, that is what we're talking about today. Because the first $5,000 doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your brain more than $50,000 ever will. And most people don't understand why. Introduction. Hey, my name is Zach, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money messes with our psychology and why smart people still struggle financially. And if you are someone who works hard, earns money, but still feels anxious every time you open your banking app, if you feel like you're one emergency away from stress, if you've ever thought, once I make more, everything will finally feel okay, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out, because today we're breaking down something that completely rewires how you think about money. The assumption most people get wrong. Here's the thing. Most people believe more money equals less stress in a straight line. Like, $1,000 less stress, $10,000 way less stress, $50,000 basically peaceful enlightenment. But that's not how the human brain works. Money doesn't reduce stress evenly. It works in thresholds. And the first $5,000 is the biggest psychological threshold most people will ever cross. Let me show you why. The science, scarcity changes your brain. There's a famous study by Princeton and Harvard economists that found something wild. When people are under financial stress, their cognitive performance drops by the equivalent of losing 13 IQ points. That's the same mental impact as pulling an all-nighter or being legally drunk. Not because they're dumb, but because their brain is occupied by survival math. When you don't have money, your brain is constantly forecasting danger, running worst-case scenarios, making short-term decisions just to get relief. That's called scarcity mindset. And here's what most people don't realize. Scarcity isn't about how little you have. It's about how close to zero you are. Why $5,000 is the psychological line. Let's talk numbers. For most people, $5,000 represents 2 to 3 months of basic living expenses, a buffer against emergencies, the ability to say no occasionally. That's not luxury money. That's breathing room money. Once you cross that line, your brain stops asking, how do I survive the next problem? And starts asking, how do I improve my situation? That shift is massive. And this is where it gets really interesting. The law of diminishing emotional returns. Look, going from $0 to $5,000 feels life-changing. Going from $50,000 to $55,000 barely registers emotionally. Why? Because money doesn't buy happiness, it buys options. And the first $5,000 buys the most important options of all. Time, flexibility, mental clarity. After that, each additional dollar gives you less emotional impact. This is called diminishing marginal utility. And it's one of the most misunderstood ideas in personal finance. A simple math example. Let's make this painfully clear. Scenario. You earn $2,000 a month. Your expenses are $1,900. Every surprise hurts. A flat tire, stress. Medical bill, panic. Late payment, anxiety spiral. Now you save $5,000. That money doesn't make you rich, but now you can absorb shocks. You don't rely on credit. You stop making desperate decisions. Scenario B. You already have $50,000 saved. Adding another $5,000 doesn't change how you sleep, how you think, how you behave day to day. Same money, wildly different impact. The psychology shift nobody talks about. Here is what most people don't realize. Once you hit that first $5,000, you stop chasing quick money. You stop panicking about small purchases. You stop making emotional financial decisions. Your brain moves from reactive mode to strategic mode. And that's when wealth actually starts compounding. Because wealth isn't built by people who make more money. It's built by people who think differently about money. Addressing the objection. Now, you might be thinking, Zach, $5,000 isn't realistic for me right now. I get it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't need $5,000 to start changing your brain. You need momentum, because the psychology shift doesn't happen all at once. It happens in stages. The $500 gives $1,000 gives $5,000 ladder. Here's a framework you can apply immediately. Stage 1. $500. Breaking panic mode. This covers small emergencies, avoiding payday loans, avoiding credit card spirals. Stage 2. $1,000. Regaining control. Now, mistakes don't feel fatal. You stop feeling behind. You regain confidence. Stage 3. $5,000. Mental freedom. This is where anxiety drops dramatically. Long-term thinking begins. You stop feeling trapped. Each step rewires your behavior. Why people never reach $5,000. Here's where I get a little frustrated. Most people never hit $5,000. Not because they don't earn enough, but because they treat saving as optional. They save what's left instead of saving first. And look, that doesn't work. Because lifestyle always expands to fill income. Actionable step number 1. The non-negotiable buffer. Here's what to do starting this week. Decide that your first financial goal is not investing. Not crypto, not flipping, not side hustles. It's a $5,000 buffer. Automate. A fixed amount every payday. No thinking required. No emotional decisions. Treat it like rent. Actionable step number 2. Separate the money. This is huge. Your buffer money should live in a separate savings account. No debit card attached. Slightly inconvenient to access. Why? Because friction protects your future self from your present emotions. Actionable step number 3. Track wins, not just numbers. Every time you avoid debt, pay cash, absorb a surprise without stress, write it down. You're training your brain to associate savings with safety, not deprivation. The story that changed how I saw this. I once talked to someone who went from $0 savings to $6,000 in about a year. Their income barely changed, but their behavior did. They stopped taking bad jobs out of fear, saying yes to everything, making impulse purchases for relief. They didn't feel rich. They felt stable. And stability is the foundation of every wealthy life. Final insight. The real goal. Here's the final thing I want you to understand. The goal isn't $5,000. The goal is becoming the kind of person who can build $5,000. Because once your brain changes, money follows, not the other way around. Strong close and call to action. Look, if this video helped reframe how you think about money, hit the like button so more people see it. Subscribe if you want practical, psychology-backed money advice without the fake hype. And comment below. $5,000 changes everything. So I know you're serious about taking control of your financial future. I'll see you in the next one.